You gotta be fucking kidding.
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. Now, this channel is primarily a gaming channel, but seeing how this movie is based on a video game, as well as the fact that I just really need to vent about this, I'll be giving my thoughts on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer that dropped today. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll play it right now, and for copyright purposes, I will be speaking over the video at certain points. I may also pause the video at certain points as well. With that said, let's go. Okay, right here I can say that Sonic looks like a guy wearing a suit or a costume rather than Sonic the Hedgehog. Like the proportions are that of a human being almost, rather than the proportions of Sonic the Hedgehog. But let's continue.
Gotta go fast.
Minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest. This needs someone who can figure out exactly what we're dealing with.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
What the?
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
Nope!
I'm
Wrong. I'm in charge.
Allow me to clarify. In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
Okay, for some reason, it doesn't seem like Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. It just seems like Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey. Like when he was the Grinch, he had a voice that he did. He does these other characters, he has a voice, so it doesn't sound like himself. This just sounds like Jim Carrey.
Listen, pal, I don't know if you realize
I'm sorry, Major. What was your name?
Benny.
Nobody cares. SFPD.
Meow?
Okay, no. This thing is fucking ugly. It doesn't look anything like Sonic. Like, for example, let me put up some reference to what Sonic the Hedgehog is supposed to look like. Okay, here are the two versions of Sonic the Hedgehog. The one on the left is classic Sonic from the old Genesis games, and the one on the right is the more current Sonic from newer games like Sonic Team Racing and even some of the Dreamcast games. Notice some of the features that make Sonic Sonic. For example, the large, oversized eyes. He's wearing gloves, and he has oversized shoes. These are things that are what makes Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic. And now, if you look at the design that they've created for the movie, his shoes are regular sized. He's not wearing gloves. He just has white hands. And his eyes are very, very small. They don't have the look down right. And he just looks strange.
Oh, come on.
Okay, pal, I want answers.
Basically, it looks like I'm gonna have to save your planet.
Also, notice that here he says, it looks like I'm going to have to save your planet. Now, he's saying your planet, not looks like I'm going to have to save the planet. I'm going to have to save our planet. He says I'm going to have to save your planet. So does that mean he's an alien? He's not from this planet? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking.
Uh-oh. Whatever this creature is, our job is to secure it, neutralize it, see what makes it tick.
9 million steps today.
This looks a lot like the Quicksilver sequence in X-Men Days of Future Past.
Stay in there and be quiet.
How much longer? I can't breathe in here.
Do you have your child in that bag?
No. I mean, yes, it's a child, but it's not mine.
It's not your child.
Smells like body spray in an old ham sandwich.
Okay, now this I'm on board with. This looks good. Jim Carrey should look like this all the time. I don't understand why he looks like Jim Carrey in the beginning. Because if he's going to be playing Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik, he's playing a zany, goofy-looking character. So this is what I expect him to look like through the entire movie. Not like himself with just a mustache. Overall thoughts about the trailer, honestly, I think it looks like shit. Just the things that are happening don't make any sense. It looks like it's going to be kind of generic or boring. And some of the things just don't make sense to me. And then what kills it more than anything is that design for Sonic. Like, who the hell designed Sonic for this movie? Like, someone got paid to design that thing. And you'll hear the excuse that, oh, he has to look that way because they're trying to make him look realistic. I'm sorry. Does this look realistic? Does this look like something that you would see in the real world? This isn't like the Jungle Book or the Lion King movie that's coming up, where they're using kind of photorealistic versions of animals. This thing does not look like something that's real. It doesn't look like something that exists in this world. So to make it look more humanoid than what Sonic the Hedgehog looks like because you're trying to make it look real is a bullshit excuse. It's just fucking ugly. You can find tons of posts of people all over the internet with minimal time just tweaking in Photoshop that current Sonic the Hedgehog design to make it look more like what Sonic should look like. And it makes a huge difference. Like, for example, look at this one. Just some subtle changes make a huge difference. I would totally be on board with this design here if they did this. The eyes are a little more oversized here like they should be. He's wearing gloves like he's supposed to be wearing instead of just having white hands. And the shoes look more like what his shoes are supposed to look like. And again, the proportions. Doesn't look like a human being. He looks like a character. And I would be totally on board with this design here. This on the right, even though the changes are very subtle, make a huge difference in that design. That to me looks like Sonic the Hedgehog. The one on the left does not. And then in a perfect world, this is what they would do. This is perfect. If this is what was in the trailer, I would be so hyped for this movie because that is exactly what he's supposed to look like. And I don't understand the mentality or the thought process that went into whatever they designed on the left. Like if their thought was, well, it's the real world, so he needs to look real. So here's a real version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, I'm sorry. Even though you say that looks quote-unquote real, it does not look real to me. It still looks like some computer-generated creature that does not exist in the real world. So if it's going to be some weird creature that doesn't exist in the real world, then why not make it look like the one on the right? What would be the harm? So again, this argument that people are making, or excuse that people are making for this movie, saying that, that he looks this way because they're trying to make it look more real because it takes place in real life or in the real world. Look no further than the trailer for Detective Pikachu, where they've taken all these Pokemon that don't exist in real life and gave them a real-world aesthetic to try to make them look more realistic for this live-action movie. Pikachu has fur on him, which he doesn't have in the cartoons or video games, but they did it to make him look more real, kind of like they do with Sonic. The difference is Pikachu still looks like Pikachu. All the other characters, all the other Pokemon, they still look like the characters and the Pokemon they're supposed to be. Sonic does not. Whoever designed Sonic, they just did a really shitty job, and whoever approved this design, they also did a really shitty job. There's zero reason why it cannot look like the design we see here on the right. None. Because all the stuff that's happening in this movie is goofy, zany, off the wall anyway. So why not make it look like he's supposed to look? I do not understand. as much as I want to and as much as I try, I just can't get excited for this movie. I think had the character looked a little bit more like it looks here, been a little more faithful to the source material, I would have been way more excited for this movie. Or had Jim Carrey looked the way he looks at the end of this trailer throughout the entire trailer, I think I would have been more excited for this movie. Because as it sits now, it kind of looks like he's just going to be Jim Carrey with a mustache through most of it, which to me is a missed opportunity. And there's so many other cool things they could have done, but I don't know. To me, I don't care about this movie. I don't care to see it. I honestly kind of wish it didn't exist. And I think taking the whole it's a video game adaptation out of the equation and just looking at it as this is a trailer for a new movie coming out, I don't think it does anything that's going to excite even the average moviegoer. I don't think average moviegoers are going to watch that trailer and say, "Damn, I want to go see that." I think they're going to be like, that looks interesting at best. And I think Sonic fans, real Sonic fans, not Sonic nut fanboys, but regular Sonic fans are going to look at this trailer and be like, what the fuck is that? I'm not going to watch that. It's almost like an abomination. So my prediction is, unfortunately, I think this is going to fall, under the curse of video game movie adaptations, and it's going to bomb at the box office, and it's going to suck. And again, it's a shame because there's so many cool things they could have done. Look at something like the Angry Birds movie where it's fully animated. They could have done something like that, and now I would have been totally on board with that. Or don't have it take place on Earth. Have it take place in a different world, in Sonic's world, in a made up world, and it could have still been live action and just had animated characters. And Tails could have been in it, and Knuckles could have been in it, and there's all these cool things they could have done. Instead, they go this route, and again, I don't understand the mentality behind it, but it is what it is. So I don't know. Well, that's the video, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for this movie? Do you think Sonic looks good? And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next Supernova.